Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ruben Dario Chavez Jr., aka Ray Chavo, and I'm breaking down the Euros groups. Let's dive right into it. Group D, another tough group. They're all tough groups. That's what makes the Euros so fun. But we got Netherlands, we got France, we got Poland, and we got Austria. And they're going to be duking it out to see who is going to come out on top. Um, for me, this group is a little straightforward. As much as I said it's going to be tough, I think it's going to be tough in name and visually. You see it and you're like, oh man, these are, because we know Austria can keep things tight. We know that France and Netherlands are squads that obviously are well known, and France is a favorite. So for me, it starts with France down. But we'll start with Austria first. I do like I do like their defense. I think that Liner and Troner are really good. I believe that Sabitzer is incredible. I'm a fan of some of the players on this team when it comes to Austria. I don't know if they have enough to get out of this group, just based on the amount of talent that is in other squads. I do think they might be able to sneak through third, I do. And that's partly because I'm a little lower on one of the other groups, one of the other teams than some other people might be, but it's going to be tough for them. I think that this is still a squad that's trying to round into this to what is going to be the optimal version of itself. So I'm not expecting a lot from Austria, but for them, if they go to the tournament, they play the way that they can and make a good account of themselves. I think that'll be massive. I don't think anybody's expecting a lot about Austria, and I think Austrians themselves will tell you, this is not a tournament that they're targeting as we're going to make a huge run. So maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But that's just how I see it. We'll talk about Poland next. I am lower on Poland than most. I think that's fair. Um, Lewandowski's not playing the first game. That's massive. You start the first game off a little slow, especially since it's against the Dutch. That's not good. Lewandowski also kind of has a habit of not really turning up to international competition in terms of these big international tournaments. I haven't seen that moment where I'm like, oh yeah, he just really grabbed the game by the neck. We'll see who's going to replace him up front for that first game. Szczesny's great. I think Buksa's probably going to get the nod, and Urbanski from Bologna does really got a lot of good work in the midfield, like as an attacking midfielder. So I really like him. I think they're a cut below what everything else is going to be, and I don't see them. I think they'll end up winning a game here or there, but I don't think they're going to make a lot of noise past that. Um, but like I said, the points are up for grabs here. Because again, we're going to go on to the Netherlands, and I don't think this is a vintage Netherlands side by any means. But you have Dumfries, you have Van Dijk, you have Ake, you have Simons, who I really like. I like Xavi Simons a lot. Um, Depay, Frankie De Jong being out of the squad through injury is going to be tough because of the midfield. I like Gakpo. Gakpo showed what he could do in the last World Cup. He's capable of making some magic happen. Obviously, still getting his feet set at Liverpool, but overall, this is a squad with some youth and with some veteran experience in some areas. I think the best of Van Dijk's career is behind him, and I'm saying that very softly to not get pelters or yelled at for it, but he didn't look great this season, and part of that is Liverpool didn't look great, and I think he hasn't looked great for a little bit. With Frankie De Jong not being there, that really weakens the midfield. And again, when you look at the attack, Memphis Depay being somebody that you're really relying on a lot in this year, tough. I like Depay. I've liked Depay at some of his stops. I know that he's extremely talented. He has a lot that he can offer when he's on, but he's not always on. So I'm not high on the Netherlands. I think they get by based on the fact that this group is a bit open for that second spot, and I do think that just their talent level, as well as the way that they're coached, and just the fact that the Dutch have a style of football that they play. So I think that'll carry them through to success in this group. France, we left the best for last. France are the favorites of the Euros for a lot of people. You know, it's either them or England. Then the betting odds reflect that, and all the chatter on the around the tournament has reflected that. The names roll off the tongue: Theo Hernandez, Griezmann, Kante, Rabiot, Dembele, Thuram, Mbappe, Koundé, Konate, Camavinga, Chouameni. It it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Um, Chouameni's still recovering from an injury, so he's probably not going to start. It'll probably be Conte or someone, but most likely Conte because he's used to playing that role. I mean, he came back. That's huge. Even if he doesn't, he's not going to be old Conte, but if he can give some of that veteran leadership and that presence and just kind of tap into a little bit of football that I'm sure he has left in his boots, it'll be big. The squad is deep. The squad can set up in various amount of ways, and again, Deschamps, Didier. There's a reason why he's still at the job, despite Zidane very clearly wanting it and other people angling to get him out of it. He won the World Cup, and he's managed to get the most out of the squad. I think Deschamps keenly understands that most of international football, when it comes to these tournaments, yes, it's great to play attacking football. Yes, it's awesome, and as a fan, you love it. And some of these squads could open up a little more than they do, I believe. But safest thing to always do is shore it up at the back. Don't make a lot of mistakes. Take your chances when they come. Deschamps has that drilled into these people. Um, and again, they have people like Saliba that could come in case an injury happens here or there or anything. So it it's it's really hard to see a a world where France doesn't qualify top. So leading into that, let's talk about the group. Again, we went through it pretty quick. I feel like I get quicker and quicker all these videos. But I do think it's going to be France at the top. I don't really see them losing a game in this group. The Netherlands will probably be their trickiest game, but they'll be able to unlock it. Mbappe is coming off of a club season which didn't see him do his best by his standards. He's still had a good season, you know, he's still had a good season, but he wants to be one of the best players to ever play the game. He wants to be considered one of the best players in the world. His move to Real Madrid reflects that. I think this tournament is going to be a big stepping stone for him, or not stepping stone, but it's going to be a big marker that he's going to put down saying, I am still the best in the world. I am still that person. You know, you have to include me in conversation with Cristiano, with Lionel, with Pele, with Ronaldo, with all the greats. I'm that level of player, and I'm going to show it. So I expect them to go deep. I expect them to go far, and I expect them to start in this group with just kind of breezing through it, honestly. In second place, like I said, I don't think this is a vintage Dutch team. I don't predict them, making a run for the semis or anything, but they have enough quality. They're an intelligent enough team with enough talent to progress through this part of the tournament. I have them coming in second place. And third, I have Poland kind of by default. I have a lot of question marks over Austria. I don't think their squad is quite all the way there. And that's just what it comes down to me. It's one team has to be the worst team. And unfortunately for Austria in this group in particular, I think it's them. So that's how I see it. We'll see how it all plays out, obviously. But that first game, especially for the Dutch, is going to be important to get it started well against Poland. But we'll see. We'll see how it all breaks down. So you tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me your predictions on Group D, and then watch the other videos and tell me your predictions on those groups. Thank you for watching.